Abante News, pinitikan si BP Sara? Oh, Abante News. Akala nyo, ganun-ganun lang, hindi kayo pupunahin, ha? OMG. Eto kasi mga kapatid, no, si Abante News kasi kumuha ng kapiranggot na salaysay ni BP Sara para sa aking pananaw din, ano, para medyo maging kasira-sira ito at ma-brainwash yung mga mamamayang Pilipino natin. Ano nga ba ito mga kapatid? Ayan, dito muna tayo. Sabi ng ganon, bagsak ang journalism sa Pilipinas dahil mas pinapahalagaan ang pera kaysa katotohanan. Sabi ng ganon. Linawin natin, buti na lang mayroon na tayong social media ngayon kung saan nakikita natin kung ano talaga yung katotohanan na nakikita ng tao at lumalabas sa bibig ng tao. Yan, tignan natin yung buong detalye rito mga kapatid bago tayo manood ng balita. Iginiit ni Vice President Sara Duterte na bumababa ang kalidad ng pamamahayag sa Pilipinas kasunod ng kontrobersya sa pag-uulat ng isang media outlet tungkol sa kanyang mga naging pahayag sa The Hague. Ayon kay BP Sara, mas nakikita umano niya ang katotohanan sa social media kaysa sa mainstream media dahil anya ay may mga ulat na inilalabas nang wala namang konstekto. Buti na lang mayroon tayong social media, yan nasabi na natin. Sinabi rin ng Vice Presidente na malaki ang agwat ng kalidad ng mainstream media sa Pilipinas kumpara sa international media. Unfortunately, kung gagawin talaga natin araw-araw na Diyos ang pera, wala talagang pagbabago na mangyayari sa ating bansa. Nauna nang naglabas ng pahayag si BP Sara na kumukwestiyon sa isang video na inilathala ng isang news outlet na anya ay liberately spliced and misleading. Iginiit niyang kinuha lamang umano ang isang bahagi ng kanyang talumpati at inilabas nang wala ang kabuuang konstekto dahil upang magkaroon ng maling impresyon ang publiko. Eto mga kapatid, gawa ho tayo ng isang example para po mas maintindihan natin kasi kumuha sila ng maliit na pahayag kay BP Sara. Magbigay muna tayo ng example. Ito syempre nag-ano ko sa anong tawag dito? Google AI. Pwede kasi tayong mas okay sa akin si Google AI. Pwede naman kay ChatGPT pero mas nasanay na ako ngayon kay Google AI. Sabi ng gano'n, sabi ko magbigay ka ng example na kukuha ka ng kapirangot. Sabi ng gano'n, kung papasukin ng masasamang loob ang bahay ko at nasaktan ang mga anak ko, hindi ako mag-aalangan na pumatay ng tao para lang maprotektahan sila. Gagawin ng kahit na sinong magulang yan kapag nalagay sa panganib ang pamilya niya. Pag nalagay sa panganib. Ngayon, kung gagamitin mo tong masamang pahayag na ito, pwede mong putulin eh. Halimbawa, si BP Sara ang nagsabi niyan. Ganito ang mangyayari. Hindi ako mag-aalangan na pumatay ng tao. Gagawin ko yan. Diba? Nagbago na ang konstekto. So, ibig sabihin, ang darating yan, parang masama na yung sinabi ni BP Sara. Example lang yan pero alam ko patungkol yun sa nag-hire siya ng 5,000 pesos para lang, gano'n, no? To make a long story short. So, kapag kasi kukuha ka lang ng konti, doon po sa buong pahayag ng presidente o yung ibang tao para lang gamitin iyon na mag-iiba yung tingin ng tao. Sasabihin, handa siyang para lang ganyan, di ba? Hindi ho talaga maganda. Kaya sir, mga ma'am, kung gagawa ho tayong ng news, wag po yung ine-exaggerate nyo o kaya binabawasan nyo para lang makapanakit kayo ng tao. Hindi ho maganda yan. Shoutout sa inyo, Abante News. Pero mga sir, para naman kasing hindi ho maganda eh. Magmumukha kayong bayaran dyan po sa ginawa ninyo mga sir. Sayang, may pangalan na kayo. Gusto nyo sirain nyo pa pangalan nyo. Depende na lang kung baka lang naman baka di umano nakatanggap kayo kaya kayo ganyan. O kaya ayaw nyo kay BP Sara. Gusto nyo BBM. Diba? Yan ang hirap po sa inyo, no? Naku, ko sa mga to. Wala, ganun po talaga mga kapatid. Tara, panoorin na po natin ito. Galing sa ating Balitang Pinoy TV. Finally, sinabi na ni BP Inday, good news, kakapasok lang breaking news update kay Tatay Digong. Kasi nga, ito pang isa, marami na daw kumakalas sa mga taga-kabila. yung ICC, may mga kumakalas na rin daw doon. So, humihingi na rin ng tulong ang ICC dyan po sa taga-Japan daw di umano para lang maisalba sila. Sa madaling salita, may nabasa din ako, sabi medyo or naghihingalo na itong ICC. Pag nagkataon, pwede na pong mapalaya si Tatay Digong, di ba? I-play na ho natin ano ang meron dito, Balitang Pinoy TV.
Ang ICC ay tuta ni Trillanes at ni Marcos. You saw President Duterte being pushed, pulled outside of the room, pushed into a plane. Is that a person who is a flight risk? He cannot even walk 3 steps and fall to the ground. In fact, how many times has he slipped and hit his head? But there was one issue about Karim Khan in relation to the case of President Rodrigo Duterte. And what was it? He had conflict.
Oh.
Narito ang Balitang Pinoy TV.
Mga kapatid, huwag niyo po kalimutan mag-like sa ating video. Malaking tulong po yan sa mga nanonood sa atin. Total, nanonood lang din naman na po kayo. Mga ma'am, mga sir, makikisuyo lang po ako. Papindot na lang po ng like, napaka-importante. Lalo na kung titignan niyo po ang aking channel. Malaki po ang aking subscriber. Pero mukhang nagurgur po ako. Hindi ko alam. No? Kasi halos 6 na buwan na no? Katiting na lang ho ang ating mga views. Kaya sa tulong po ng inyong mga likes and then magko-comment kung kaya nyo pa pong ma-share. Maraming salamat po. Okay, tuloy na ho natin ito.
Ay lagi kayong updated sa ating mga trending na balita, especially dito kay VP Sara.
Him home! Bring him home!
Ang susunod na pagpapasalamat ko ay sa Filipino community dito sa Den Haag, sa Hague. Nagpapasalamat ako sa kanila dahil sila yung hiningan ko ng tulong para mabuo yung pagtitipon natin ngayong araw na ito. At meron akong special thank you kay Alvin and Tourism dahil siya ang ginulo ko para magawa ang rally natin ngayong araw na ito. And Alvin, na nawalan ng tulog dahil sa Foxilica.
Paksilikan.
Alvin, if they cannot respect a no comment, you should not lose sleep over it. That is their problem. That is not your problem.
Tama!
Dapat sila ang ma-stress sa'yo. Bakit ikaw ang na-stress sa kanila? Ikaw lang ang na-stress.
Okay, binabash si VP Sara sa Paxilica na
Thank
komentaryo.
you.
Hindi siya nag-comment.
Sa tulong para mabuo ang ating programa ngayong araw na ito. Magsisimula ako, mga kababayan, sa paalala sa International Criminal Court na hindi nila pwedeng gamitin sa mga desisyon nila ang mga sinasabi natin patungkol sa kaso ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa ating mga actions of support.
Napaka walang utak ho ang ginagawa ng ICC. Napaka illegal ho ng kanilang ginawa kay Tatay Digong. Bakit sila pumapayag na parang inuutos-utusan lang sila ng mga taga-Pilipinas at makipagkaisa sila para lang po si Tatay Digong mapunta dun sa dahig? Hindi po deserve ni Tatay Digong yung mga nangyayari sa kanya.
Kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. At syempre, sa mga assessment at opinion natin. Dahil walang nagbabawal sa Rome Statute na ipahayag natin ang ating mga nararamdaman.
Correct.
Lahat ng kanilang pinapalabas, nire-release publicly, ay pwedeng pag-usapan at pwedeng bigyan ng komento.
Yes.
Kaya lagi kong sinasabi, kapag ako ay tinatanong, ano ang tingin ko sa desisyon na nilabas ng ICC? Ang sinasabi ko lagi, walang basihan sa batas. Ano ba ang pinagbasihan nila? Libro ng isang tao na hindi mo naman alam kung anong kredibilidad? Suporta ng mga tao? Siyempre, dahil dating head of state yan, dating pangulo yan, minamahal yan ng marami. Siyempre, meron talaga tayong ipapakita na suporta. Ako, anak, kapamilya, siyempre, magagalit ako sa ginawa sa aking ama at sa isang Pilipino na ninakaw, kinuha, kinidnap doon sa Pilipinas para ihatid dyan sa ICC.
Tama.
Let us start in the year 2017. In 2017, a lawyer submitted a communication to the International Criminal Court. And this was supplemented by a communication by former Senator Trillanes and another person. That was in 2017. In 2018, the court took it under consideration. Between 2017 until 2021, there was investigation, no investigation, put on hold. Let us start first with the complainant. Who is Trillanes? Trillanes is the person behind the Oakwood Mutiny and the Manila
Correct.
Peninsula Siege. Which was against who? It was against President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Trillanes stood on the platform of anti-corruption against Arroyo. We do not know the dealings, the negotiations behind the mutiny and the siege. That is not discussed publicly. When did we next see Trillanes? We saw him next in the Jejomar Binay attack. Vice President Binay was a candidate, a presumptive candidate for the 2016 election. And then what did he do? He attacked Vice President Binay on the platform of anti-corruption.
Talagang aso talaga si Trillanes.
But you must remember, he never attacked President Aquino on the platform of anti-corruption. And you remember the DAP, the pork barrel scam of the Aquino administration. And where was Trillanes then? Quiet. Because we do not know how much, where, how, when the negotiations happened.
Alright.
When did you see him again? Trillanes, hear about him again. You heard about him in 2016 because President Duterte was the front runner. In April 2016, President Duterte was already the front runner of the presidential elections. Everyone forgot about Mar Rojas, the candidate of Trillanes.
Ay.
Everyone was focused on Rodrigo Duterte, including Trillanes. This was the first time you heard about EJK, DDS, bank accounts, billions in the bank accounts. This was in 2016. In 2017, he filed the communication in ICC. And if you can remember, President Duterte never did anything against Trillanes, against the witnesses of Trillanes during the Senate hearing. He presented Bato-Bato, he presented Las Cañas, and he claimed so many things about the Davao Death Squad. And what did President Duterte do? He told everyone, pabayaan nyo yan. It is his right to speak. It is his freedom to talk about the Davao Death Squad. So that is... Okay na ng payong, sir. Ay, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. May banyo ako, ma'am. So that was Trillanes. That is Trillanes. Against Gloria Arroyo, anti-corruption. Against Binay, anti-corruption. Against Rodrigo Duterte, anti-corruption. EJK.
So, ibig sabihin ni VP Sara, si Trillanes talaga, aso. Okay? Aso. Bakit siya aso? Because he is being selective sa kanyang propaganda na, lalabanan natin ang korupsyon. Pero ang sarili niyang bakod na amo noong panahon ni Pinoy, hindi naman nila, wala siyang ginawa doon sa pork barrel. Yun, di ba? Yun ang kasagsagan ng korupsyon doon, pork barrel doon sa panahon
So ano ba yun? Para bang tahimik siya?
ni Pinoy. Wala. Si Trillanes, wala. Di ba? Si Trillanes is aso. Aso talaga yan.
But do you hear him speak of anti-corruption when it comes to President Aquino and President Marcos?
Correct.
Makes you question. What is the anti-corruption platform for? Whose interest is he serving?
Correct.
This is yellow, pink, red. Lahat ng kulay, maliban lang sa green.
Lucky Charm.
Maliban sa green at black.
Thank you, friend.
Diba? He is quiet when negotiations happen for his interests. But
Ayun.
if negotiations are for the interest of, against the interest of Trillanes, he is noisy.
Silent.
So that is 2017 in the background of the person who sent the communication to ICC. Now here comes ICC. Yes, we take it into consideration, and then yes, we will investigate. We will put on hold the investigation through the years, and then come 2021, we will investigate. And who is the person? Who was the prosecutor who finally defended the investigation? It was Prosecutor Karim Khan, who was dismissed for an entirely different issue, but there was one issue about Karim Khan in relation to the case of President Rodrigo Duterte. And what was it? He had conflict of interest because his previous work was representation of the victims of supposed EJK under the Commission on Human Rights in the Philippines.
Grabe.
That was his conflict of interest. But did ICC say categorically that you have conflict of interest? No. They did not. They just said that the appearance of impropriety excludes him from this case. But how can you give credibility to an investigation by someone who represented the victims? And now you're saying he must be investigated and prosecuted. That is clear conflict of interest. It muddles the entire investigation. That is our complainant, that is our prosecutor. We go to jurisdiction. ICC said, we have jurisdiction because we took the complaint under consideration before the Philippines withdrew as a member of the International Criminal Court. And what does that mean? It means that if you take it under consideration before withdrawal of a country, there will always be an open complaint, open under consideration, open investigation through the years, even if the ICC will not act on it. And is that justified? Of course not, because it will be a perpetual investigation. There must be an end to the perceived liability, to the under consideration, to the investigation. Otherwise, it will be 300 years from now, assuming this ICC will exist for 300 years, there will be an open under consideration complaint, communication inside the ICC. That is what the countries who are withdrawing now from the ICC should watch out. Because if there is something under consideration there, even if they withdraw 50 years from now, kung buhay pa yung ICC, they can file a case. That is why we have been saying, you have no jurisdiction. 2 years has passed since the withdrawal of the Philippines from the ICC before any formal inquiry was done.
Ayan. Ano natin? Skip natin. Skip.
Ako pagka nagre-reaction video ko, ko na yung video eh. Kinukuha ako na tapos tsaka ko siya piniplay para walang ads. Mahirap kasi parang mainenext yung parang bawal din kasi ata na ipi-play mo kasama yung ad. So talagang i-skip.
If that is allowed, then there will be no end to the ICC going after sovereign nations. That is jurisdiction. We go to how the ICC disregarded how former President Rodrigo Duterte was kidnapped from the Philippines. They say, it doesn't matter to us how he was taken, where he was taken, by what means he was taken. What matters to us was that he was delivered to The Hague and endorsed to the ICC. If this is about justice, then why does it allow injustice to happen to people who are respondents of communications, of complaints inside ICC? Next, we go to interim release, the release of President Duterte. There are 3 things in the Rome Statute that are to be considered before a release can be considered or granted to a respondent. First is that he is not a flight risk. Second is that he will not, cannot obstruct the ongoing investigation. And third, he cannot continue to commit crimes under the ICC jurisdiction. You saw President Duterte being pulled outside of the room, pushed into a plane. Is that a person who is a flight risk? He cannot even walk 3 steps and fall to the ground. In fact, how many times has he slipped and hit his head in detention? No one can count anymore. And no one is talking about it.
Grabe.
Because why? President Duterte is the Asian poster boy in answer to the attacks that ICC is only going after the black race. He is a flight risk because of the support of the Filipinos around the world. Is that an assessment, a correct measure of a flight risk? Second, he will cannot continue to interfere or obstruct any investigation. Investigation started when? When he was president. The witnesses, Matubato, Las Cañas, when? When he was president. And what did he do? Nothing at all. He allowed the ICC to say whatever it wants, to do whatever it wants, even when he was president. When he was former president, I told him, the ICC is doing an investigation. The investigators are coming in and out of the country. We have proof of immigration records. And what did he say to me? Basag di na sila. Di na sila pwede manghilabot sa ato ang nasod. Basag di na sila magsulod gawas dinhi sa ato ang nasod. And I knew that something was happening because I hear it from the office of the former speaker, Romualdez, and so I put it on record. What did I do? I wrote the president. Why is the ICC continuing the investigation inside the Philippines? And then he said, what did he say? He said, we will not cooperate in any shape or form with the ICC because it is an infringement in our sovereignty. On that point, he was correct.
Instead of telling you how easy
Tama
it is
siya.
Ayun na, nag-ads na naman. Okay, siguro mga kapatid, hanggang dito na lamang po. Maraming salamat sa inyong panonood. At sana po suportahan nyo pa rin itong X-Crew, no? Halos parang naghihingalo na rin kasi yung ating channel. Hindi ko alam kasi halos 6 months na po ang nakakalipas mula nung nagpalit ako ng 2 beses ng name. Hanggang ngayon po ang hirap isalba ng ating channel. Hindi ko alam kung anong nangyayari pero magpapatuloy pa rin po tayo, no? Kasi po, hindi na nga ako nanonood ng news Mas gusto ko na lang habang nanonood ako ng news or yan, mga nagaganap na balita na hindi nilalabas ng mga bayarang media. Ako, dito na lang. Kaysa manood ako araw-araw ng news, kada labas ko na lang din araw-araw, dito ko na lang din pinanonood kung ano man yung mga nangyayari sa bansa natin na politika, no? Kasi simula po nung nagbablog tayo, parang nagiging makabayan na ho talaga ako. Siguro makabayan na. Ayoko po ng korap, ayoko po sa mga ibang hindi mapagkakatiwalaan. Pero kung ikaw sinasabi mong BBM ka pa rin, pasensya na, napakatanga mo. Yun lang ang masasabi ko doon, mga kapatid. Okay, hanggang dito na lamang. Sana po tuluyan na pong mawala yung ICC na yan. At tulungan niyo po kung makabalik kahit man lang po may every month akong kasi naglo-load lang din ako yung wifi dito sa amin hindi masyadong makaabot yung mga internet provider. Banggitin ko na kayo di kayo makapasok sa lugar namin. PLDT, Xfinity, ano pa ba yung iba? Di nakalimutan ko na. Basta yun, mga ganon, nahirapan silang makapasok dito sa lugar namin kasi nga lungga talaga. Hindi naman lungga, yun nga lang nagkataon walang mga poste kaya mahirap po. Pero maraming salamat po sa tulong po ninyo kahit naglo-load na lang tayo ng mga Globe Wi-Fi, yan, kahit mahina po signal, ayan po yung aking GCash. Pasensya na po kayo. Kailangan ko lang ng support din ninyo kung meron pa dyang ibang mabubuting mga puso. Maraming salamat po sa mga tutulong. Thank you very much. Kuya Mio, shoutout sa iyo Sa chat kita habang nagre-reaction video ko kaya wala ako tayo nasasabing maayos. Thank you.